just a hack. It's just an absolute hack. And he gets his ass kicked by his teammates every week. It's just, it's terrible. It's just terrible.
We're back here on the Believe in FCS Football podcast. Joe DeLeone, Sean Anderson, two former college football players from the University of Rhode Island. We are here to recap the quarterfinals of the FCS playoffs. It was an exciting weekend. Some of the games were really fun. A majority of them ended up being lopsided for most of them throughout. But nonetheless, we had some good football outside of the Army-Navy game. Sean, how are we doing today?
Doing pretty good today. KFC and Taco Bell were on the docket for the recovery menu. My house.
Wait, which one was breakfast and which one was lunch?
Both lunch.
Oh! So you went to the combination?
No, it's not even a combo. It's not even the combination Taco Bell and KFC. It was straight up. They're just next door. So we went inside the KFC.
Cool.
We went inside the KFC and then we drove right into the drive-thru at the Taco Bell.
I think I would respect it more if you walked in to like Taco Bell to get Taco Bell, and then you made the business decision to then walk from the Taco Bell into or not walk in, but just walk over. I think that would have been a little bit more of a power move.
Well, how about this for a power move? Tyler was eating a KFC bowl while we were pulling up to get the Taco Bell food. So in the car, he's eating KFC, and we're receiving a huge bag of filth from Taco Bell.
But those bowls, I don't think I could never eat one of those bowls and think I need more food. It's usually, I need to just go to bed. Where the day is over after you eat one of those.
It was over until I texted you. The reason we didn't go at 3:30 was because everyone had the itis, couldn't move. I didn't even sleep. I was even napping. It was just simply I cannot function right now. I need to.
By the way, Sean, before we get into the games, we found out a lot about our show this week. One, we found out that we say the Lord's name in vain too much, which that one I knew, but then I sent you one of the comments that like someone treated it like it was like a podcast review, but it was just a direct comment on the video. So dipshit, we can read the comment, and I don't care about your opinion, but this one person summed us up very perfectly.
Yeah.
He blamed us for the reason for the headache behind his left eye, and then he said, wait, what was the exact
I have
word?
it here.
Yeah,
I have it here. Richard O'Neill, 7 minutes in and nothing but nonsense.
No, but
the follow-up one from
Yes.
JT Nelson. Unless you like watching them make out with each other and argue about syndication and drink out of their cartoonish-sized mugs/jugs. I blame them for the headache behind my left eyeball.
Actually, now that I think about that, I don't think that was a negative comment. Like, I think that was somebody just trying to be funny, and it actually is really funny.
It's just
so you know
factual.
what? Yes,
that's what it is.
If they were trying to be hurtful and they really hate the show, like again, I don't care.
Yeah,
but the counterpart, I hope it's actual. Like, they were trying to be funny, because that actually was really funny.
If you're a casual listener, me and Joe are sickos in the fact that stuff we will laugh at harder than if somebody like makes a really funny joke or a good point, anything like we revel in that for no reason. It's stupid too, because we obviously do this because there's some attention in it, and it's all the reasons that you do brought ego, all of it. That's what it is, and it's never, you never want to be like, oh, these guys are jerks or assholes, and I don't think we are. But when it's stuff like that, which
a little bit sometimes,
when it's
me more than you,
when it's about the general drivel of the show, I will always laugh at it. And if someone just like in the YouTube stream the other week, someone just came in and said, "This sucks," I'm like, "That's funny to me."
These guys stink. That was what he said.
That's awesome. I don't know why. Maybe it's because we're able to elicit a reaction from from people that at that level.
Yeah, no, it's just because I personally think I stink, so it's just like, this person agrees with me, so it's very, very, very fun times. So in record timing though, we're transitioning to the read and then getting to the game. So we're at 4:30 in on the taping. So Sean, can you share with our listeners about all the wonderful bets you placed? Did you take the over or the under on the Army-Navy game?
Oh, I stayed away from it.
I was going to take the over, and then I opted not to because I put too many of my bets in on bowl games, and it is what it is.
Read time. Hi, all. Hope everyone is having a great start to the week. This week that's your email. Okay.
Oh, eat shit. Eat shit. Do the read.
What? I don't even.
Do the read.
I love betting because misery loves company, and another Saturday is come and gone, or another Sunday has come and gone for the 1 p.m. slated games, and I've taken another bath. No, Minnesota, so fraudulent, so fraudulent.
That was just a
Underdogs,
bad bet.
frauds. How Minnesota was 10-2, Joe.
Because they're overrated. I think
I understand, but it was
yeah,
Detroit.
okay.
Took a bath on that, so that shot down a lot of bets for me. Tennessee, frauds. So if you like to be miserable, I want to be miserable with you. And then if you sign up with betonline.ag, we can all be miserable together after yet
Ah,
another horrendous NFL betting Sunday. It's just another bad weekend for your boy. And you're probably smarter than me, and you'll be miserable less often. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use promo code BLEAV, that's BLEAV, to receive your rewards. BetOnline, where the game starts.
that was a very startling. It was
Yeah,
like
no one's going
a
to like
hiccup
that.
burp.
I apologize.
ASMR radio.
That was an awesome beefy 5-layer burrito burp.
Sean,
It's disgusting.
Holy Cross fans are not going to like what we're going to have to say about them.
They'll
So
probably like what I have to say about them. They probably won't like what you have to say about them.
look, this game was actually, it was very hard fought, and
Yes.
I tweeted this out that Matt Sluka played a fantastic game, and I will always give credit where credit is due. I say this on the show, on the FPS pod, the FCS pod. Whenever I'm wrong, I sit here and admit when I'm wrong. So I never had a problem with Sluka, and I acknowledged that Sluka was a great quarterback, and he played that way. However, despite this game being close at halftime and for a long period of time, South Dakota State ends up pulling away. They won 42-21. So that game, the score looks more lopsided than it actually was. However, I think as this game progressed, Sean, I could slowly start to feel that South Dakota State was going to pull away. And the reason why I say that is that Holy Cross needed to pull out a lot of bags of tricks, a lot of goofy trick plays to pick up some first downs. And then they got into a rhythm and they were doing pretty well. But to see how often Sluka was getting pressured and how often he was starting to get hit early in the game, I just knew. Like anyone who plays football, you watch these guys, that stuff happen, and then at a certain point, it's like, oh, this is gonna the barrier is gonna burst, and that pressure is gonna come and get after him eventually, and that's gonna lead to the mistakes. That's gonna lead to the sacks, and that's what took them out of it. The physicality of South Dakota State took over at the end of this game, as I think we both anticipated.
It would have been a miracle for Holy Cross to keep the pace that they were on. And the first 3 quarters, impressive. You know what? There were some calls that the onside kick after scoring their first touchdown. Okay, it didn't work out, but if it did work out, we would have been saying that's a great move. They were taking chances, which is what we said they should do. I said, Holy Cross in this game, you're going to have to take chances. You're going to have to go in your bag of tricks. You are going to have to throw everything that you possibly had at South Dakota State, that's what they did. They did.
Yep.
And you put it perfectly. Unfortunately for them, the dam burst. And fortunately for South Dakota State, your team has enough talent and power and discipline to be able to hold on, especially when Holy Cross is playing about at capacity. You could have been tighter here or there. You could have made some more plays and maybe made it even tighter of a game. But that's about at capacity for this part of the season with what we've seen from them. So South Dakota State held on, and they did what they do, and they're just going to grind you out. And they're going to have some plays that make it on the SportsCenter top 10. And they did. And they were some impressive plays. I'm watching with my roommates. I'm like, oh, yeah, there's Tucker Kraft. Like, who was 85? Well, I'm only going to say his name one more time because he keeps on making play after play.
Yeah.
Isaiah Davis looked really sharp. Mark Gronowski looked good. So that team is coming into form when they should be. And didn't their coach win Coach of the Year, I believe?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
congratulations to him. He was very nice when we met him in Brookings as
very,
well.
very nice guy.
Yeah,
very
he
nice
didn't have to do that, but it was nice. So it was a good game for South Dakota State. Carry it on, all right? Carry it on. It's going to be another game just like that. It will be.
And look, I'm not gonna sit here and do. I know everyone wants me to sit here and scream into the mic and say "fuck you, Holy Cross." Like
Mhm.
I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm gonna be respectful, okay? But what I said and what we talked about during the week that a lot of people love to push back on, and there was also this debate that I was seeing going on Twitter about like, oh, can we admit that Holy Cross can compete with the best teams in the FCS? Like, I still don't really agree with that, because the reason why they lost this game is exactly how we described it, Sean. Exactly how we described it. South Dakota State has better athletes, they're more physical, and they're more talented. And because of that, they were going to grind them out. They're not a team. They're not like Incarnate Word that is going to try to air you out. They're not that type of a team. They are a run-first, run-centric team. They're going to grind you out, and then at the end of the game, that's when they pull away. And because of that vast difference is why Holy Cross, when it came to crunch time, when it came to that final quarter, why they couldn't hang in the game. If that was any other Big Sky, Missouri Valley Football Conference program, they could have fought their way back into it. But there is just such a noticeable talent gap, size gap, physicality gap that kept them out of the game. And like, that shouldn't be a hot take to say that a Patriot League team is not going to be able to show up and compete with a team, the best team in the country, like South Dakota State.
Yeah, it's definitely not. They should be happy with themselves. They should be. They won't be because they lost. But you put up a good enough fight for us to not be like, oh wow. You put up enough fight for Joe to not come on here and say, I told you so. And that should be enough of a win in of itself, because that's a huge win, especially with the national media, and that's what I'm going to call us as, even though I hate saying that you were dead in the water, saying you were DOA going into this game. You put up a way better fight than we thought you would. And Holy Cross came out. They came out swinging, man. They did. So respect.
Wait, what does the A in DOA stand for?
Dead on arrival.
I'm not a smart man. Sean, however, South Dakota State has a very tough matchup this upcoming weekend with Montana State. And this is going to be a really, really fun battle of two teams with very similar approaches and tones that are going to be duking it out this upcoming weekend. Montana State did not have as much of a fight as they got from William and Mary. Wait, the wording of that was awkward. William and Mary did not show up to play against Montana State. They got dominated. Didn't. Final score was 55-7. And look, there were some people who were being all pissed off and saying that, like, oh, this team shouldn't have been seeded. Look, we talked about this going into the game. To travel to go play in Montana from Virginia in on a field that was a sheet of ice is really difficult. And they just looked like that they weren't prepared. Like, it didn't look like there was a talent gap like the Holy Cross game. It didn't look like that. It didn't look like they couldn't show up and put up a fight. I think like you said this, if this was in a dome, different football game. I just think that they weren't even close to prepared or knew what to expect in the conditions.
They didn't. And you can do wet ball drills. You can pump crowd noise into your practice facility to simulate going and playing in a huge game. But you cannot replicate a true home field advantage like Montana State had. That was awful conditions. And for Montana State, you're used to it. Their leading running back, Isaiah Fonze, 11 for 162 and 2 touchdowns. You think he's used to it, Joe? You think he's used to running in the cold on a sheet of ice?
And Malott and Chambers, they all they looked like they were playing hockey, skating out there. And there was that one play where I think it was Malott who scored a touchdown, and then he slid 4 yards out of the end zone, like a skater. There was such a drastic advantage, and I don't think people really understand that advantage.
It was freezing. It was below freezing. It was my roommates were asking me, hey, whoa, joking around, what would you do to get one more game and go out there and play? I'm like, you couldn't. I'm even watching the South Dakota State game, and I'm watching the conditions there. You couldn't pay me.
No,
you couldn't pay me right now.
Mm-mm.
Now, if you're talking about like a season opener, a homecoming game, like something like that, sure. I'm not going out and playing in December. I'm not built that way right now. I'm enjoying a little bit of the couch life. And this game here, Montana State, used to it. They had 328 yards on the ground. That's what William & Mary does to teams. 328 yards on the ground, 7.8 yards a rush, and then 5 rushing touchdowns. That is what William & Mary does. And William & Mary was held to 135, 1 touchdown, and a 3.5 average. This was it was just such an advantage for Montana State that I can't even say William Mary didn't get off the bus. I can't say that. They just got worked by a team that's been there before, a team that is used to those conditions. And hey, welcome to the mountains. All right, this is not Williamsburg, Virginia anymore.
And look, we're not trying to discredit the performance by Montana State. I saw some people on Twitter that were clamoring for discreditation for William and Mary, and I don't think that's fair.
No, William Mary is a really strong team. They're a very good team, and this is not us being a CAA apologist. If it was,
it kind of is, but
at the same time, Joe, if it was flipped up and Holy Cross went out there, they lost like that, I'd say Holy Cross didn't have a shot in those conditions. Right. It was the conditions, the play style, the tempo, all of that. And I said it on the show last week, and people in the comments are saying that Montana State wasn't a buzzsaw. They're a buzzsaw.
Wait, were people actually saying that?
They were saying, how are they more of a buzzsaw than Sac State? You should rewatch the whole game. No. You do not get to determine who. I'm Captain Buzzsaw, all right? And I'm declaring Montana State as the buzzsaw.
Look, final takeaway, though, I can't wait for South Dakota State, Montana State, because, again, it is two really fun running backs against two teams that have effective running quarterbacks. And I know that Montana State has two running quarterbacks, and they've got that 2 QB system working really well for them. I understand that they have all that, and then that might be a slight advantage for them or whatever we want to describe it as. But still, it is going to be a heavyweight duel, as these two teams are going to be just beating the shit out of each other, which is going to be so fun to watch. Speaking of a beatdown, though, North Dakota State defeats Samford 27-9. Quincy Critterton, aka Goofball McGee. Samford's season ends pretty quickly. And now that QC was the one who was under center, and look, I'm not gonna sit here and analyze the hell out of this game. I know that score doesn't seem super lopsided, but I knew from the first drive that North Dakota State was going to win. I couldn't tell you the score total. I didn't think that it was necessarily going to be a blowout, but I knew for a fact, watching Quincy Critterton on that first drive, he did not look prepared. And Samford did not look like they could physically match up, it sucks because it's a quarterfinal game, and you're kind of hoping that the seeded teams could put up a little more of a fight, but they did not. They did not. It was very, very lopsided.
Putting the wrong score in the doc. You're messing me up.
I put the wrong score?
You did. I just changed it for you.
Oh, I was looking at what was the score that I put in the doc, though? That's not what I read.
You put in 27-21.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
like, that's not what it was. I had to fix it. Yeah. QC, tough way to start the game, and tough team to face off, especially in the playoffs. I mean, it's North Dakota State. And Cam Miller, I thought looked sharp. I thought Cam Miller looked really sharp. And I understand it's Samford. I understand, regardless, it's a new team that you've never played before. And he looked sharp, and he looked sharp when he needed to. 15 for 18, 3 incompletions. You give me a quarterback with a primarily rushing team. Give me only 3 incompletions. That's all I need you to do. Complete the ball. Because I know you're going to run it. I know you're going to run it again. Just manage the game, buddy. Manage the game, and he did. Keep that up. Because, again, I'm just watching that O-line, man. I watched the O-line. That's all I looked at. All I looked at is just how they were able to stay low the entire game and come out of the firing blocks and reinsert the line of scrimmage 2 yards downfield. Now, Samford's got some good dudes on the defensive line, but this North Dakota State offensive line, and I'm watching Cody Mock. I'm watching them all. They're hungry. They're hungry for it. They are hungry for it. Someone else needs to be hungry when they're faced. There needs to be a defensive line this week or next week or in the championship that has to be hungry enough to stop them. All right, that's the only way, because if not, you are not going to stop them on offense. You won't. It's a different type of attack. I know the other offenses, they're spreading them out. They're getting really creative. They're spreading the field, using all their weapons. You need to stop those 5 dudes up front, or else you're going to have a long day. That's what I watched a dominant. It was just dominant. It was a dominant performance by those 5 dudes.
Yeah, that offensive line, and I know that they're not like they don't have Hunter Lupke, and it feels like that they don't have that star running back that they've had in the past. And Cam Miller's fine. He's not Trey Lance.
Don't let the
He's
Kobe
not Carson
Johnson.
Wentz.
He seems to be doing
But
okay.
yeah, Kobe Johnson had a really good game. But my main point is that offensive line might be one of the best offensive lines that they've had, which
Yeah.
is saying something. And it just looks better and better every single week. They're in their bag right now. They are playing at full peak. And again, there's not really much to take away from this because like they had the easiest matchup this weekend potentially, and they kind of not coasted, but they just very easily won this game. They took the lead from the jump, and it didn't really take a whole lot. There wasn't much of a fight that was put up by Samford, but there was a really big fight between Incarnate Word and Sacramento State.
Dude, was there ever?
Dude, this was a really fun game. 66-63 for Incarnate Word. My main takeaways for this, and like I give Sac State a lot of credit for fighting to get back into this one, but the stupid turnovers early, the defensive touchdown that they gave up on the fumble late in the game, you're not going to beat Incarnate Word turning the ball over as many times as you did. You're just not. It's not going to happen. They can score in an instant with any of their running backs, with any of their quarterback, or with any of the receivers. And Lindsey Scott can either beat you on the ground or through the air. He is him, man. He is the dude. He is the
Exactly
Walter
that.
Payton Award winner. He is so goddamn good. He took over this game, and he took full advantage of the mistakes that Sacramento State made in this one.
I want him playing for Atlanta. I want him. I need him playing for Atlanta.
He's not a pro quarterback.
Shut up.
He's not a pro quarterback.
Shut up.
He's not a pro quarterback.
He had 219 yards on the ground and 4 touchdowns passing. He had 166 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns rushing. I want him. This game, though,
he's not.
You can't call him unless he's him. He's better than whoever the hell they're suiting up in South Bend. You look me in the eyes and tell me I'm wrong also.
Well, he was at LSU for a period of time. I mean, he's a talented player, but he's not an NFL player.
You think he couldn't take the Notre Dame starting job right now?
Oh, I think he could. I think he absolutely could.
That was my question then.
He's out, but he's out of eligibility. He'll be a great XFL quarterback.
Hypothetically, if he had another year, would he be starting for the Fighting Irish?
Depends what transfers they get. If they get Devin Leary, no, he's not starting over Devin Leary. He's not starting over Hudson Card. If Drew Pine was still there and he was there to start the season,
both of them. Shut up.
No, that's
irritate
not true.
me. You irritate me to no end. This game was bonkers. 57 points scored in the fourth quarter. 57 combined points. Maybe the best game of the year.
Nuts.
Maybe the best game of the year.
And it was stuck on ESPN Plus.
Scott Van Pelt was saying it when they were doing Sports Center. Maybe game of the year. You might have Alabama Tennessee. You might have Alabama LSU. Game of the year, possibly. The first Utah USC. I don't know. This game might have been game of the year. And if you're not following us, follow some of the guys that are actually really good at it. Reddit CFB was covering it. Sickos Committee was covering it. And it's just, I couldn't get enough of this. I couldn't get enough of seeing what happened in this game, what transpired. It was a very fun game. This is what you look for in the playoffs. This is what you look for. You look for a game of the year type situation. And we got one. We're going to keep on being confused as to who's throwing passes at Sacramento State. That's what we're going to keep on doing. We're going to keep on watching Lindsey Scott be a dude all over everybody. That's what we're going to watch. We're going to watch just two teams punch each other in the face for 60 minutes and not stop scoring. And who is it? Who is it? Let me look it up right now. I have it.
What?
Who has to try to defend this air raid next week? I had it. Let me get
North Dakota State.
Oh, good luck. Good luck.
What? I explained that Montana State was playing South Dakota State.
I know. I forgot.
You think Incarnate Word also is? There's just like a three-way matchup.
Would you shut up? I got it. Would you shut it?
So South Dakota State has to play Montana State, and then they also have to play Incarnate Word immediately after. It's like one of those. It's like a lacrosse tournament where you just kind of like go to the next field and then you play each other, and then North Dakota State's just going to kind of hang out until the championship. But to your point, I actually don't know if they. I actually do not know if North Dakota State has the secondary to cover some of these guys. Man, like this is going to be a really tough game. And I have to say though, I got to give Coach Kinney credit.
Oh yeah.
because I talked about how this stuff is so detrimental for any team, and it's hard to outwork it. And there's rare instances where it doesn't create a distraction. Might have created a distraction for their defense that didn't cover anyone, but it did not create a distraction for Lindsey Scott, who rallied the troops around him and did everything that they needed to do to win this football game.
Got this text from a very reliable source that I very much respect. Joe couldn't have been more wrong about Incarnate Word.
Who's the reliable source?
My dad.
God damn it, Chris. that premise is a good point, though. Shut the fuck up.
The premise makes sense, but I guess they got a coach there that really knows what he's doing. And maybe they have the dude there.
Also, I also have to say, this was another one of those weird bits. I saw a much more aggressive tweet by somebody on Twitter, and I think it was like a Montana State fan or somebody that was like, oh, this is a joke. This was your second seeded team, and they can't beat Incarnate. Dude, they played a really hard fought game. They played a really, really tough game. Like, why are you complaining? They deserve to be the 2 seed. They were undefeated with an FBS win, and they ran the table in their conference schedule. Like, why is that not deserving?
Yeah. Hey, Montana State fans, don't turn heel. At this point, you it doesn't matter who you're playing. All right, you got to win the next 2 games. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
So zip it. You've been good. Don't turn heel. I'd hate for the Montana State fans to turn heel. I'd hate for that to happen.
We've been an inadvertently biased Montana State show, as well as the South Dakota State show. So it's going to be really confusing where our biases lie. I wish
we're a Lindsey Scott Jr. show.
Well,
I am. You
are. I'm not a hater. You muted yourself.
I know I did.
What, were you going to say something mean to me?
Nope.
And you had to cut yourself off?
Nope. I had to cut something off so someone wouldn't be thrown up after eating lunch.
That's disgusting. And also, I applaud you for being able to pause that.
I think the next door neighbors might have heard that one.
That's oh my God.
Is there? Hold on. I actually might have set off a car alarm.
Okay, well, that's one way to end a show. At Joe DeLeone, at Sanderson Radio, FCS Football Podcast, Hack City on YouTube.
Oh,
hit subscribe, turn on the bell. Sean has a point.
Holidays are coming up. If you want to start sending me or Joe gifts, that'd be great.
Don't send us anything.
I'm in need of new britches.
Everyone unfollow Sean. Disgusting.
Hanes Comfort Flex Fit.
Absolutely.
Those are the number one.
Disgusting, terrible person. Thanks for tuning in. We're really sorry for ruining your day. That just ruined mine. Goodbye, everyone. Drive safe.